All right, how's it going? This is Chris, and I am going to go over Nmap, how to do the scans, how it works, and what are some scans that you're going to be doing. So we're going to use the basic target that's going to be 192.168.1.10. So the first thing we're going to do is obviously the whole objective list is going to be discovering if what the target is up, identify any open ports. We're going to detect services and versions of them. We're going to determine the operating system, and then lastly, we're going to look for vulnerabilities. Only if it's safe to do so. But from starting at the first scan, we're going to type in that nmap, the /n, then 192.168.1.10, and then now you just press enter, and now they're starting the scan. What this is going to do is just going to send echo requests like pings to the host online. You're going to use this for like just a fast network sweep to identify like any live hosts if there is any, which is just going to show like one host is up. So next we're going to do that port scan, which we're just going to pop open at nmap back up, take the SN dash off, and we're just going to run that. And mind, you have to understand that whenever you are doing Nmap or whenever you're doing scans like this, a big portion, and whenever you're doing penetration testing or any type of thing where you're scanning multiple networks, it's not that whenever someone are thinking how fast you can do this or whatever, it's not that the how fast you as the user is doing it. It's just how fast it's actually going to take the scan to actually do this. So sometimes it could. This is extremely fast. How it showed like the ports here. Normally, if you're doing some sort of penetration test or you're testing multiple targets, multiple IP addresses, you're gonna start adding ranges to it, where you would add a range to how many scans it's going to look for whenever it is going through said scans through multiple IP addresses. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to look for like the service and the version of the IP address. So now we're going to pop that nmap back open, and we're going to take off that N, and we're going to add a capital V instead, and that's for the service and version. Pop that open, and that's going to start scanning from that. That's basically just going to determine what services are running on what open ports, and it's going to try to identify like what versions there are, known versions. It was something that'd be like Apache random numbers after that, which would show like that would be the port, what port is open, what ports are open with the random numbers, along with the version that it is, which is whatever system that they're going to be or running afterwards. What we're going to get into would look a lot like the OS detection. This is taking a little bit longer than normal. While we're waiting for that, next we're going to get into that operating system detection, which we're just going to do the nmap /O. That's going to determine that operating system based off of the TCPs and IP, the fingerprinting of those. Is just going to help exploit know like, hey, cool, if this is a Windows or a Linux computer, you now know what Linux and computer that is, and then since you did the scan before and you know what version they're using on those computers, you now know, hey, cool, if they're using said Linux computer from whatever year or whatever updated to whatever year, you now know, hey, let's go look for some weaknesses and exploits that they specifically had during that year, and that's how you're going to attack that computer. This is taking a little bit longer than normal, but we're gonna wait for that to finish, and then we're just gonna wait for that to keep cooking. If this taking a little bit longer than normal, you can fast forward to whenever this is going to stop and finish the scan. All right, that's taking forever. We're just going to move over to the last thing. Just know that that scan is going to continue going for however long it's going to look through whatever. But the last scan, and this is the scan that you want to be mindful of whenever you're doing whatever you're doing. Now this is going to be the aggressive scan. This is the big scan that's going to just do everything that we just did from before. So looking for the OS, looking for the version, script scanning, which I haven't exactly put in, but it's also going to do tracer route as well. Those are two things that I haven't explained. I'll explain those in a different portion of tutorial. But specifically here, we're going to talk about the last thing in Nmap, which is just going to be that aggressive scan. So we're going to go back and then put this into a capital A. Now, might be mindful when you do this aggressive scan. This is whenever you're going to do this test, make sure that you're allowed to do this. If you're going to be doing this on your own network or in like let's say that you're in the SOC, that's fine. Just know that whoever's watching over that network, they're going to see what you're doing. This is a very aggressive scan. This is going to definitely alert people. If you're trying to sneak around and get into places without them knowing, this is not the scan that you want to do. If you want to be loud and aggressive and they know that you're coming, they already know that you're there, this is the scan that you're going to be using. Which that's going to should take it's going to take a while as well, give or take. But that aggressive scan, the last time I did a really aggressive scan for penetration testing, which was for the school, I think the scan lasted for a solid 30 minutes to an hour, and I was told that that was a short scan. Actually, some people have did scans where it's lasted days. So yeah, the scan can get really intense. Depending on what you're looking for. This is one of those scans where you can just look for detections, look for places. But this is the loud scan, the noisy scan. The target that you're looking at, they're going to know 100% that you're there when you run this scan. Since we're waiting, I can also talk about specific script scans. So script scanning would be, you can take, say, this address. So you would write a script. You're going to learn about writing a script inside. If you don't know it already, whenever you're inside of the Linux class, or you know a little bit of Linux, or you're just figuring out how scripting is working, at some point it's just going to be a basic script where you open up whatever any script writing tool. Let's say you use Nano, so you open up Nano. After opening up Nano, you would take a list of these IP addresses. So you would just put a whole bunch of IP addresses inside of the list. Let's say you put 10. 10 of those IP addresses are going to go inside of that script. You don't have to put anything else. You just name that script. Let's just name it script test. So you name it script test. What you would do is you are going to write that Nmap, and then you're going to put 2 of these dashes, and then you're going to put the name of that script. And what's going to happen is, or you're going to put the name of that script. What's going to happen is, instead of you individually scanning these IP address, instead of you individually scanning these IP addresses, it's going to scan the whole script. So it's going to scan every address that's in that script. So just like I did all of these scans, and I did that one scan on this one singular target, whenever you scan that entire script, it's going to do that specific scan on every IP address inside of that script. So that's a good way of hitting multiple targets, multiple networks and IP addresses all at once, instead of trying to do it one by one and trying to figure out, hey, did I do this for this script, or did I do this for this target, or did I do this for this target, or what if this target, or what if I missed this, or what if I missed that? You can just do everything all at once so that you don't miss anything. You can see whatever vulnerabilities of whatever you're looking for, and you're looking at through that. And that is going to be it for this tutorial. Now, I could stand by and then wait for this to finish running. It's going to look like from here on down is what this big thing is going to look like. Essentially, that these three up here that I ran, these three scans right here, is going to be in one singular scan right here. So that's what that's going to look like. I'm not going to stay here and wait for that though, but thank you.